Hi there, welcome to Futurelooks. I'm Eric. We're going to take a look at a really cool cooler we've seen launch. This is the first one to come from NZXT or Next. So a lot of people like to pronounce the name. This is the Havik 140. We've seen this one debuted a few places, shown off, and we finally got one in our hands to play around with, take a look at. So we're going to give you an unboxing and tell you all about it. Now some folks ask, why would you bother picking up a new CPU cooler when one comes with your processor? Well, you know, this is your retail heatsink, and that's fine, you know, especially if you're trying to save a few bucks and you're not really worried about some of the noise these might produce or the heat that can get a little warm. But if you have a system case that gets pretty hot, maybe you live in a warm climate, these tend to get a little loud and they don't always do so well. Of course there are some taller tower coolers from Intel that also work, but when you have the option of using a CPU cooler that has two large 140 millimeter fans, you don't need the RPMs or the rotation to get a large amount of air blowing through, cooling off the cooler, which in turn carries that heat from your CPU IHS. So we're going to pop this open right now, show you what's inside. We've greeted with some directions. This is going to be part and parcel to every one of their CPU coolers. You notice his directions are actually, the pictures are quite large, so this helps when you're trying to read the text sitting on limited desk space. So nice to see the good illustrations. You have a top included 140 millimeter fan. Now you can see that these blades actually have kind of a wavy curvature to them, and that's just to help change the look of the fan, you know, and also get a little besides being unique, give a little extra airflow sometimes. You can get those with certain tricks to these fans. Second fan included here. These are 3-pin. Now these fans do move a decent amount of air. In fact, you'll find that even though that they might be spinning at 1200 RPMs, they're not going to create much noise at all. The cooler here, we got a good look at the base here. You can see some of the slight machining to the grooves there. That's okay though. It's very smooth either way if you're running your finger across it or using your fingernail. The base is also convex, meaning it has a slight curvature, so it sits flatter against the processor IHS, which aren't always perfectly flat, so it helps fill in some of those gaps. You can see the 6 heat pipes that span the entire length, and then just a little extra of the cooler. These heat pipes are going to do the bulk of the cooling. They're going to carry that heat away up, and then it's up to the job of the 90 cubic feet fans that are moving 90 cubic feet of air through these fins, and that's what hits your heat pipes to help cool it off. Of course, you got the one front and back, and overall this cooler is ideal for a high performance system. These two options here, you've got a standard Intel that's retail that goes with the ships with the smaller lower end processors, and then of course the Extreme Editions get this one here. Of course, again, these two are meant for to help your processor last that 3 years that it's supposed to. This one, on the other hand, will give you a lot more room for overclocking, as well as keep it as cool as possible. All right, the accessories. These are what you're going to need to get your system mounted, your CPU mounted, system completed. Of course, you're following the directions. This should be easy to figure out. We've seen similar layouts to this here. We've got a universal back plate of sorts. This one goes on this side for AMD, and the other side is for Intel. So one single back plate, you don't have to work. This will save some money, especially for NZXT and for you, which will transfer over to cost. You've got your standard top plates you're going to need for mounting your bracket. This is your final retention bracket here that secures that in place. You can see them designated by the screws there. Now, unique to the Havik cooler that we have not seen on any other coolers are these fan mounts. This not only attaches to your fan once you've got them installed. These are going to pull, these tabs here pull to the side of your CPU cooler. So I'm going to do those real quick, is mount one of those so you get a peek of that. Right, so this is one of the fans mounted here. You can see how the tabs work. You just pull down once you've got your fan set, and that's how they secure onto the heatsink itself. Now this will do it for both the front and back, so you have a push and a pull design. In this particular case, we're going to be pulling air out, so just one of the fans set up. And here on the side you have your arrows if you need to figure out which directions you want this to be mounted. Now these 25 dB fans are rated just to that. They don't, in our lab tests early in testing, we didn't find these to be very loud at all. In fact, it's probably 25 dB if you're up close, pretty up close. Otherwise, they are quite quiet. Now they move about 90 CFM each. With them mounted on properly, you're going to end up pulling and moving quite a bit of air. And again, that air hits these heat pipes, and that's where the bulk of your cooling comes from. So once you've got your cooler set up, you don't have to worry about spreading to two separate parts on your board, your fans. Instead, they've included a splitter here. This can go straight into your CPU header on the board and then off to your two fans. So that keeps things nice and clean. So again, overall, very excellent setup here, a kit. So that concludes our look at the Havik 140. You can find this cooler, the NZXT Havik 140, at Newegg and a few other sites for retailers for about $79.95 or $99. Depends. You'll probably end up seeing a few of these on sale also as well. Again, NZXT's done a really good job keeping the costs down, giving you a high performance cooler, one that we have seen in our own labs match the Noctua D14 with both fans. Users have the option of single fan configuration, dual fan configuration, whatever kind of cooling you need. NZXT is helping provide that. We'd like to thank you for watching. Have a look at Futurelooks.com and see how this turned out.